Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, events keep coming at us, and holidays keep coming at us.
Don't stop, do they?
Well, it's hard to believe Veterans Day is literally a week or so away.
Yep.
And we're going to be speaking with Joshua Payton, who is the president of the Veteran Golfer Association. And he's got events planned for that 3-day weekend, a Veterans Weekend.
Cool.
And we're also going to be speaking in the second half of the show with our friends from the Encore Center.
Okay.
They're doing yet another production.
They're always doing productions.
They're tireless.
Yes, they are.
I mean, they're ridiculous. I mean, they're all over it. I mean, I don't know when they sleep.
They don't.
And rest.
Nope.
I have just had the privilege of meeting Joshua this morning. The Veteran Golfer Association, how did you get involved with it? And tell me about their role in Moore County.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
The VGA was founded in 2014. I had the opportunity to play for the Wounded Warrior Ryder Cup team in 2013. And we went over to Royal Lytham St. Anne's in England. It was 12 combat wounded vets from the United States versus 12 combat wounded vets from the UK. And we got our butts kicked pretty bad. And I came back from that experience. Really, my life was changed because what I saw was how powerful the game of golf is to bring the veterans together. And so once we got back stateside, I talked with one of my teammates, a guy named Joe Cayley, who is a former Army Ranger sniper. And I said, there's got to be more veterans across the country that love the game of golf and want to connect and, build relationships through a game that we all love, especially here in Moore County. So in 2014, we founded the organization here in Moore County in Pinehurst. And, it's been a crazy ride since then. We've quickly, coming up on our 10-year anniversary, we serve more than 28,000 members nationwide. We host more than 1,500 golf tournaments nationwide. Last year, we did over 70,000 rounds of golf for veterans and their families. We have chapters in every state in the United States. We also have international chapters in Australia and Germany, Bahrain, and Mexico. And so what we found is that, golf has a unique way of bringing veterans together, especially, veterans that are currently in active duty or if they're transitioning out of the military. The golf course has, golf as a game itself has a unique property to it in that golf has a handicapping system, right, and that allows combat wounded veterans to compete against able-bodied individuals. And so, with that in mind, we created a structure, a competitive league, if you will. We call it the VGA Tour. And so, if you're a member, if you're a active duty soldier or a veteran that has served, or you're a family member of a veteran that has served, you're eligible to be a VGA member.
Gotcha. You are retired military yourself?
Yes, sir. I did 20 years in the Army.
In the Army?
Yep.
And how did you settle on Moore County yourself?
Well, that's an interesting story. Most of that 20-year career was down at Fort Bragg. Now, I think Camp Liberty, so. I've been in the area. I was a member of Anderson Creek for 15 years and got an opportunity to come play golf over here one time. And I think, it was over at Legacy Links. And they were doing an incredible promo for veterans. It was like $29 a round, and
Right.
you know, I just fell in love with the community. It's a beautiful place to live. It's a beautiful place to raise a family, and it has like all the components of our mission statement, which is to enrich the lives of veterans and their families through the game of golf. And so when you really look at Moore County as a microcosm of the entire United States, I don't know a more military forward or more golf forward community, in the country, really. And so this is a good place for us to call home.
Yeah, we have a lot of nonprofit organizations that use golf as a vehicle to raise funds.
Right.
And they have periodic golf tournaments. But what you're talking about is a national organization that you just happen to be based in Moore County.
Yeah, intentionally based in Moore County because of the military components here and the golf the golf history behind our town. But our events are not fundraisers. Our events are competitive golf tournaments, like you would see at the PGA Tour. We host events all over the United States. I think we had approximately 70 events in the state of North Carolina last year. And these are all competitive golf tournaments. And so the players are going out there. We have our own handicapping system. So you have to play in 3 VGA events to get your VGA handicap. And once you have your handicap, you're kind of off to the races. And when you're competing in our events, you're earning points to go towards your state championship, and when you get in your state championship, you're competing for a slot in your regional championship, and then ultimately from there you get into our national championship. And for the last 9 years, we just hosted our ninth VGA National Championship at Greensboro in North Carolina at the Grandover Resort. But those national championships are free to the players that have qualified for them. And so what we raise money for is to support our volunteer leaders. We have over 300 volunteer leaders across the country that are going out to golf courses, putting golf tournaments onto our schedule for all of our VGA members nationwide. And so we also raise money for our national championships. Like I said, at the Grandover in Greensboro, that one event cost us, over $350,000. But I will tell you that event is life-changing for those veterans that got a chance to come to it and compete. For a 4-day, 4 nights, 3 days on the golf course, they got a PGA Tour level experience that we're really proud of.
I'm assuming this is a full-time vocation for you.
It is now, yeah. When I retired, this is I put all of my soul and heart into building this organization, and
Right.
I'm very proud of where we're at, and really proud of where we're headed in the future.
Yeah. You have family?
I do, yeah. I've got a wife who works for the hospital.
Okay.
And we have a 1-year-old little son.
Oh, boy.
So it's been quite the juggle over the last few months.
So obviously in a couple of years he'll kind of get a better understanding about what Dad is doing and what you're dedicated to.
Yeah, right now, Dad is the guy that feeds him periodic bottles and takes him on golf cart rides.
Right.
And
Right.
but I think that he'll grow up in an environment that this is a town that, like I said before, is great to raise a family in, and so
Right.
we'll be able, hopefully, in the next 15 years or so, we'll see him out on the field at Pinehurst playing football.
That's right. That's right. Before we talk about some of the upcoming events that you have planned here, talk a little bit more about the epiphany that you had when you went overseas in, you said 2013?
2013, yes, sir.
Your first, it was an introduction into a golf competition with 12 Americans and 12 from the UK?
Yes, sir.
That changed your life.
It really did. I remember standing on the first tee box at Royal Lytham St. Anne's, and first of all, the history of the golf course, right? Having the honor of representing our country. And so, when they said next on the tee box, Captain Joshua Payton representing the United States of America,
Yeah.
I felt my knees go weak. And I don't know how many of your listeners have ever been over to England or played Royal Lytham St. Anne's, but it's a par 3. It's a 175-yard par 3. And, when you can't feel your legs, that's quite a daunting task. You'd think, they would have like maybe a par 5, you can, rip driver or something like that. But,
Right.
But I'll just tell you, like, the whole experience was, it was just life-changing for me. And so we've kind of taken that model of, where you play at local level events, and then you go to kind of, some better golf courses at your state championship and some much better golf courses at your regional championship. And by the time you get to your national championship, we want you to have that feeling of that you're special. Our salute to those players that have served our country. And we've hosted our national championship at Olympic Club.
Oh, wow.
We've hosted it at Baltusrol. We've hosted at Doral down in Miami.
Wow.
We've hosted at the Greenbrier. And next year for our 10th anniversary, I'm really proud to announce that we're hosting our 10th anniversary national championship at Olympia Fields in Chicago, which is the host site of the BMW Championship, as many know. And so, when our players make it to our national championship, which is free to them, but they earned it. It's not a giveaway. They've got to set goals and get there. But
right.
My goal with my staff and with all of our volunteer leaders is that they come away from that experience with their lives changed, like my life was changed in 2013.
Wow. Tell me about, you've got a 3-day weekend coming up, and you've got 3 specific events planned, all different.
Yes, sir. So for the last 3 years, we've done something called the Race of the Pines, which is a golf cart race in Pinehurst. It's been really well received by Moore County and around the southeast. It's really the only golf cart race of its kind in the country. So if you could imagine a 200 foot drag race for golf carts, there's different categories of golf carts. So you can have a stock golf cart, or you can have a modified golf cart. It can be your personal golf cart. It can be a golf cart that you borrowed from one of your friends.
So, but many of these carts are juiced up, and
they're all different categories.
Okay.
But we've got our own mechanism of separating them and then having them compete against each other. But it's really just a fun day of, first and foremost, as a fundraiser for the Veteran Golfers Association. It also is to bring awareness to what the VGA is doing for our military community, and a salute to our veterans and our active duty service members that we want them to know that we're thinking about them on Veterans Day weekend. And so we're starting with the golf cart race, which is what we've done for the last 3 years now. But we've done it traditionally in May. We've moved it intentionally to Veterans Day weekend so that it's more centered around the military, celebration of Veterans Day. So, on Saturday, November the 9th, we'll have the Race of the Pines at the harness track.
Right.
And in the village of Pinehurst. And so that will be from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m.
Right.
We'll have barbecue. We'll have music. We'll have live music. We've got Pandora's Box coming. So for any Aerosmith fans out there, you're in for a treat with Pandora's Box. But really, this is just kind of a celebration of our military. For a few hours after the parade, the Veterans Day Parade in Southern Pines. So, I believe the Veterans Day Parade in Southern Pines is from like 9 to 11. So what I would say is, if you're going to the Veterans Day Parade in Southern Pines, go do that. Support that event. Rick Herrera and his team have done an amazing job with that parade over the last few years. And then go grab some lunch and then come over to the harness track and visit us at the Race of the Pines. I think you'll really, really enjoy yourself. And for all the listeners out there that are poker aficionados, specifically with Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
We've got a poker night starting at 5 p.m. on the next night, on that Sunday, November the 10th. And we've got a $10,000 seat to the World Series of Poker in Vegas up for grabs.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a fun night. There's going to be free dinner involved in that, and we'll have a fun night of poker there. And then for our last event is the par 3 for Patriots.
That's on Monday the 11th.
On Monday the 11th, and that's over at Longleaf.
Yep.
At the Bottle Brush par 3 course.
Yep.
Just going out there to have some fun and hit some golf balls, listen to some music, get some great barbecue from Bobby Brinson. And some free beverages that have been donated to us from Anheuser-Busch and a couple of our sponsors over at Proximo Spirits. And really, it's just a celebration weekend, a salute to our veterans, and a fundraiser for the VGA.
Wow. You've got an action-packed weekend coming up. People that are coming in to participate in some of these events are not just from North Carolina, are they?
Sure, yeah, they're from all over. We had, at our last golf cart race, we had carts as far as Austin, Texas.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But what's cool, like a lot of people in the village, they have their own personal golf carts. So bring your golf carts out and, get in the race. We've got a max speed limit of 40 miles an hour. So, if you got a golf cart and you want to come through the 200-foot chute over at the harness track, we'd love to have you.
More information about these events can be found at raceofthepines.com. People can get all the details on all three events that you're talking about. Will you be in the parade, the Southern Pines Parade?
We will be in the parade. Yeah, we will have one of our Hummer, a wrapped Hummer for the VGA, and then we'll head over to the harness track right after that. But what I would also like to say, even if you have plans for Veterans Day weekend, if you're listening and you're a veteran that likes to play golf, you don't have to be a great golfer. If you like to go out and play golf, then what I would really invite you to do is come be a part of our VGA family.
It's great.
So
you're putting a face on this organization, and I don't know what kind of profile you have in Moore County at this point, but you certainly, the way you deliver the information, your dedication and your commitment is obvious. And you picked the right place to make it the home of the VGA.
We've got so many supporters here, and Forest Creek Golf Course, and Kelly Miller, and all the people over at Pine Needles and Mid Pines, and Haresh. I mean, I can't tell you how much support we've gotten from this community. We also have a national headquarters that's in the village of Pinehurst. So the VGA headquarters, we call it the VGA Clubhouse. It's open from Thursday through Sunday from noon to 6. You can come in there. We've got a full bar. You can get a beverage, and we also have a VGA Pro Shop in there, so you can buy some VGA gear, and we love being a part of this community, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten over the years.
Joshua, I appreciate you coming on and talking about these events and putting a face on the VGA for people who may not be aware. Again, go to www.raceofthepines.com for more details, and enjoy the very busy 3-day weekend you have planned.
Thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second, and actually it's going to be our final set today because we have some old friends with us. And Dorothy, as I said at the beginning of the show, the Encore Center, they just reinvent themselves every 2 months.
Yes, they do.
They have so many lives, it's crazy. I mean, I think they finish one production, they get up the next day, they dust themselves off, and they go, boom, they're back into another one.
Yep.
So we are being joined by the director, Becky Podlegar, who has been on in the past. She's also the stage manager. She's also the police, as I've always referred to her. And Carly McCulka, you are the theater marketing coordinator, and you are going to be the director for this production, which is the very well-known Addams Family. But there's a take on it, which I want you to talk about. I'm also going to introduce Mayanne Goforth, who is playing Morticia Addams, which was a very iconic role for Yvonne DiCarlo. And do you remember Herman Munster he played in that show? And also Annie Stone. Annie is 14. You play the ancestor, and then the moon. Is that how that works? Mm-hmm. So Mayanne, you're 18. Annie, you're 14. Becky, you guys just keep reinventing yourselves. This is a special take on the Addams Family?
Yes, we just closed out on Golden Pond, and we did dust ourselves off and clean that set up and start this Addams Family, Young at Part, which is a youth edition of the show. It's a 75-minute version of the show, and we put together a cast of 20 ages 13 to 18, and
Cool.
We just started rehearsals this week, and they're doing a fantastic job getting the show off the ground.
So, Carly, let me ask you, you're directing the production. This particular version, how is it different from the version that we are familiar with, the Addams Family?
Yeah, so this version of the Addams Family is very Wednesday Addams focused. So we get to see a lot of how she is becoming a young adult and not just a child of
Right.
Gomez and Morticia anymore. The story actually follows, she has a secret boyfriend who we later find out in the show is actually her fiance. His name is Lucas. They saw each other in Central Park, fell in love, have had a secret relationship, and the musical actually follows the night that the Addams and the Beinecke's, their last name, that they get to meet for the first time. So you get to see the Addams, who are a little kooky crazy, meeting this suburban family from Ohio.
Oh, so the Beinecke's are normal.
They are normal in all senses of the word.
And
yes.
they don't have, and they get a sense of Wednesday, and it's not like anything they've ever seen before?
Yeah, so Wednesday kind of puts on a front in the show. She changes out of her normal black into a yellow dress to try to impress the parents.
Oh.
The other Addams do not put forth as much effort as she does to try to conceal their craziness. And it's a fun part of the show, getting to see those two sides collide.
It's exciting when you work with younger actors and actresses. I mean, you said it's ages 13 to 18?
Yes.
You can almost sit back and appreciate the experience that it has on them and what it means to them going forward, because you know you're going to be looking at, as they get older, future actors and actresses, right?
Yes. I think all but maybe 3 of the students that we have in this production have been in shows with us before, and it's great to watch them come back and grow in new parts over the years. So
I'm
it's
getting
great.
to a point where I'm starting to recognize some of the names
Yes.
of the actors and actresses. In the, I don't know, the 5 or 6 years that we've been doing the shows, I've seen some of them kind of grow up in the Encore
Yes.
Center. Tell me about the dates.
Yes, so this production is running November 8th through the 10th, and then November 15th through 17th. So we're doing 2 weekends of shows, Friday nights at 7:30, Saturdays at 2 and 7:30, and Sundays at 2.
So that's a very busy weekend. It's Veterans
Yes.
Day weekend,
Yes.
and our earlier guest was talking about the Veterans Day parade. So there's a lot going on that weekend.
Yes.
I want to switch to Annie, and I want to switch to Mayanne, and I want you to tell me a little bit about your experience with the Encore Center and what it means to you. And Mayanne, I'll start with you.
All right. So I have most recently joined Encore by doing Legally Blonde in the summer. I played Paulette. That was a very...
I saw it. Tell me who you were.
I was Paulette. I was the hairdresser.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I was the one belting her face off, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That is very different from the roles that I've played at Encore. I also played Mrs. Potts this summer. The night and day was insane, going from a week in between the shows, I believe. Yeah. A week in between being a Jersey hairdresser into the
That's
most
right.
posh, perfect British woman you have ever, heard of in your life. And now I'm playing Morticia Addams, and this has always been a role that I have just admired people for taking on, and I am so, so grateful that I am able to portray her.
Okay, and you're 18?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. What a presence you have.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's crazy. 18. I remember. I barely spoke. You're very articulate, very demonstrative. So you're going from a New Jersey to an English presence. That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge character development.
Absolutely. And Morticia, my other characters, I don't know if it's just the Mayanne in me, but they've always been more outspoken, energetic, I would say. And Morticia is very demure, as the kids would say.
That's right.
Very quiet, not super outspoken unless it's in private. She doesn't make much of herself. She is much.
How is the experience at the Encore different than it was in productions you did in high school?
Oh, I absolutely love Encore. Encore, the people, honestly, everyone is there because they want to be. And not because they feel like they have an obligation of time. Because there are some people who just need to fill time throughout their high school days. And that's not how it is at Encore. Everyone is so happy to be there and happy for everyone. People don't get mad. It's the most positive theater experience I think I've ever experienced. Yeah. And I truly do mean that.
You go to Sandhills Community College now?
Yes, I do.
Is this something you're looking forward to doing more and more roles, more and
Absolutely, yes. I'm going for business administration right now.
Okay.
To open my own nail salon.
Okay.
Because I do nails right now.
Okay.
And that's what I am hopefully doing for the rest of my life.
Okay. I want to switch over to Annie for just a minute. You have such a beautiful presence. You look like the cat that ate the canary. You're 14 years old. That puts you probably in the 9th grade or 10th grade?
9th grade, yes.
Okay. Is this your first production with the Encore Center?
It is not.
It is not, okay. Tell me about what the Encore Center means to you.
I started doing
adorable.
Encore productions.
She's adorable. Yeah.
I started doing Encore productions, I think 4 years ago. We started with James and the Giant Peach, and it was just coming out of COVID. And it was one of the most fun theater experiences I've ever had.
Okay.
Doing it alongside my sister and being able to just be in that fun environment without having people breathing down your neck being learn this, you only have this much time.
Right.
It wasn't stressful, and it meant a lot to me that it was you have time. You don't need to
Okay.
rush or freak out.
Okay.
But I've done most of the junior plays since James and the Giant Peach.
Okay.
The most recent one was Beauty and the Beast that I did with my Anne.
Okay. You have a very commanding presence when you speak. Do you realize that you do? When you speak, you take your time. You're not rushed. You have a presence. Not everybody does, right? That's not a compliment. It's just the truth. There's a difference. You appear to be very confident in your abilities. Yes, that's a good. Don't shy away from that. What is it like working together? What about the camaraderie with all the participants in the show? Is it fun?
Yes, it is fun. Beauty and the Beast was definitely a treat. Just like how Addams Family is, Beauty and the Beast was camp style, meaning we have 2 weeks to do the entire show.
Wow.
And we even got our scripts. We didn't get our scripts before like we did for this show. We got our scripts day of rehearsals. And we had a week to learn our parts. So having our scripts a little bit longer, but still having it be camp style and very fast paced. I love that about camp style.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's a lot easier to remember when you have them a lot earlier. But I still think that all those other camp styles, getting the scripts the day of, it's always exciting.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And it's like, let's go, let's do this. And it kind of gives you something to do. And it's like, okay, well, what if I do this? But maybe I can memorize lines.
Her personality, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. When you first walked in, I thought, oh, she's going to be so quiet. You're not. That's so funny. You guys really are great. They're fun to work with, aren't they?
Definitely.
Are they very coachable?
Yes.
Do they come with a point of view like, oh, I know what I'm doing?
Yeah, so that's what I love about doing the teen camps is that I can relax a little bit. So, like, if it's a solo number, I don't have to be like, okay, well, you're going to stand up here, and then you're going to walk stage right, and then you're going to be there for 2 verses, and then walk stage left. Like, I can be like, hey, here's your solo number. I want to see what you do with it. And it teaches them to make those kind of choices for themselves. But yeah, it's definitely fun being in the room with them. Like Becky said, we've worked with a lot of these kids before.
Right.
In this cast, I've worked with 19 out of the 20 before, either in camps or in classes that I've taught at Encore. And they've worked with each other a lot. So as you were saying, like the camaraderie, like it's always fun. Sometimes it gets a little unruly, but it's not too much. But we have a lot of fun on stage. I think we're all friends. Like a lot of these kids, like I've grown up with, as well as watching them grow up and get stronger and make stronger choices and learning. And so it's a lot of fun to see that growth.
Bring me up to date a little bit on the process of when these students come in to audition for specific parts. How does that competition work? Do you have a set of guidelines that you're looking for? Do you rotate people, or do you just who fits the role the best? How does all that work?
Yeah, so when we start the registration process for our camps, production camps, particularly this one, we send out all the information about it. They register for the production camp, and then we send them information on what to send in for an audition. So for these teen camps, we usually have them audition by video.
By video.
And that's about usually a month or a month and a half before rehearsals start. That way then the production team sits down with the videos, watches them, and then looks at the characters that are in the play and see who can be the best fit, who is going to challenge in a new character if it's somebody we've worked with before, what's going to challenge them to learn something new, learn a new way on the stage, because we're all about learning and improving our skills. There are so many skills that come with being in theater and being in shows that it's not just about the show itself. It's life lessons of teamwork and character building and being a good human. So, then we cast the show, and then they get their scripts about a month out and have some time to prepare.
So the life lessons that you're talking about, is that when sometimes you may try out for a part and maybe not get it, and then you go to the next show, and then how you handle it, is that part of the
Yes.
equation?
Yes. I think especially nowadays there is this like feeling that if you don't get the title role in a show, that it means you're not good enough. And I think that could not be more wrong.
Right.
Theater ensemble is so important. Ensemble building is so important. Especially in this show, we have 10 ancestors in this show, and the ancestors are who is making the story happen in this show. So, for example, in the beginning of the show, all of the ancestors come out of the Addams family crypt. They have the big opening number. They go to return to the Addams family crypt, and it is locked because little Wednesday is in love and doesn't know what to do about it. So the ancestors cannot return to the crypt until they help fulfill this love story of getting Wednesday and Lucas together.
Okay, so the
So-
ancestors are ghosts.
Yes, they are all dead.
Thank you,
Yes.
Bill. Okay, good.
Yes, they are all dead. But the whole point of the show is that the ancestors are ushering the entire story along. So anytime there is a set change, anytime we are trying to push Wednesday one way or another, the ancestors are doing the pushing. They're doing the setting up of the scenes.
Got it.
And so that's just one example, but ensemble is so, so, so important. And that's why at Encore, we like to give people different opportunities, different places in shows,
Right.
so that they can learn, right? We're a performing arts center. We have lots of classes, like we teach.
Right.
That's what we do.
Right.
And so that's something that I really try to focus on, especially on the shows that I direct at Encore, is that I want these kids to walk away learning something.
This sounds like it's going to be a very fun show.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
You're enjoying the whole process, and even though they're telling me we only have 2 minutes to go, we're gonna cheat and go over a little bit. Just so let's talk a little bit about the logistics. Opening night is Friday, November the 8th, at 7:30,
Correct?
and then you've got November the 8th through the 10th, and then it's a 2 weekend.
2 weekends. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Friday,
and-
Saturday, and Sunday, 2 weekends.
Okay. And do you have something going on, a pre-show performance?
Yes.
You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, so I'm also the director of the Encore Outreach Ensemble at Encore. It's a performing arts group. Right now we are ages 10 to 18. I have 12 kids in ensemble, and they perform at all of our opening nights of our main stage productions.
Okay.
So they will go up and they will do singing, choreography for 5, 6, 7 songs to kind of get the audience into
Gotcha.
the mood.
Gotcha. So tickets, pre-purchase tickets are encouraged as ticket prices will increase to $20 at the door.
Correct.
So what are the ticket prices for the if they're pre-purchased?
So we have 2 tiers in our theater. So the lower section of our theater, it's four rows. Those are $17.50, and then from then on towards the back of the theater, those
Yeah.
tickets are $15.
So you can't not get a bad seat in the
No, not in
Encore
our theater.
Even if you're in the back row. I've been there. I mean, what you've done to that place is crazy.
Thank you.
You cannot get a bad seat, and it's very intimate. And do you guys, as actresses, feel like the audience is right on top of you when you're speaking?
Yes.
So it's very intimate.
It is. It is. I think with this role specifically, it's going to be very nice being in a very intimate setting because we are supposed to be creepy and kooky and wonderfully spooky.
I think
Annie?
it makes you feel more of kind of like a connection with the audience, being so close to them instead of having them like 15 feet away from you.
Yeah. You're a straight-A student, aren't you? Yeah, I know you are. You are, right? If you get a B, you're upset.
But even like with Addams
Smart.
Family, I think the intimacy of the space is really helpful because sometimes they don't have to speak. Sometimes the Addams will, especially Morticia, will like make a face and that says 1,000 words. And so being in our intimate space, like the back row can see that. Whereas in a big theater, you might lose that
Yeah.
farther away.
In Legally Blonde, I'm originally from New Jersey, And I remember you got a very, very strong set of applause. Your accent was really good.
Thank you.
And that's what I listened to growing up. I've tried to lose it, and now it's completely switched. I think it's going to be a great 2 weekends, and perfect right before the holidays and before Thanksgiving. You'll be all wrapped up, and maybe you'll take a few days off.
Maybe a couple.
Becky and Carly, thanks for coming in. Ladies, you were both great. I mean, I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
And I think hopefully a lot of kids will come and see it, some of your friends and your parents. And it sounds like there'll be a lot of fun those 2 weekends, the Veterans Day weekend and the 15th through the 17th.
Yes.
The Addams family. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week.